So Donald Trump is being sued, and I think it's a wonderful thing.
Donald Trump has been sued for blocking people on Twitter. Now, the government is not supposed to violate First Amendment rights, and it appears in this case by blocking certain individuals who criticize Trump, he is violating their First Amendment rights. At least that's the argument of a lawsuit that was brought before this judge. Now, the federal judge heard the case against Trump for banning followers and suggested a settlement. The president should simply mute Twitter followers that annoy him rather than block them entirely. Manhattan federal judge Naomi Rice Buchwald told the attorneys that resisting the settlement could actually result in the establishment of a new law they might regret.
So I hope Trump loses this lawsuit, and let me tell you why. Right now we are facing a crisis in this country. Our First Amendment rights are under attack on a daily basis. I don't know anyone who hasn't been blocked on Facebook or suspended for 7 days for something they wrote or a post they shared. I don't know anyone who hasn't had an account suspended or deleted on Twitter. I don't know anyone who hasn't had a channel demonetized on YouTube. All of my friends, everybody in my right-wing circle has faced censorship from these people on the left, from these big tech companies. And the left love to block people on Twitter. I mean, look, their big thing, I don't know how many of you use Twitter, but the big thing they love to do is if you reply to their argument, they'll reply back with their argument and then block you so you can read their reply, but you can't respond to it. And it's the most annoying thing in the world. But forget those little twerps on Twitter, right? They're nothing. What I'm talking about is the kind of actions we see every day from these big tech companies. Every day they're trying to limit what words you can use or what opinions you can have. So one example are Christians. If you are a Christian and you don't agree with gay marriage and you voice it on a social media platform, they have no problem taking away your blue check mark, censoring you, suspending you, demonetizing your videos. And they do this despite the fact that opposition to gay marriage is actually a very popular idea worldwide. In fact, there are 1.3 billion Christians out there, and despite them, when you look at Muslim groups or Buddhist groups or just the general population of the world, people who oppose gay marriage greatly outnumber those who are for gay marriage. In fact, even in California, the liberal state, they couldn't vote through gay marriage in California. So what the authoritarians do in Silicon Valley? Well, they lobby the governor and the Congress to push it through anyway against the will of the people. And guys, this is exactly what I'm talking about. They will transition from being authoritarians in the virtual world to being authoritarians in the real world. So guys, I hope Trump loses this lawsuit, not because I don't think he should have the right to block whoever he wants. He should. But these companies, I really think at this time, we need to treat these companies like they are public utilities. And we need to set precedences so we can sue them for violating our constitutional rights. Now, I'm a libertarian. I don't want more government control over anything. I definitely think people should have private businesses. But when you're talking about a publicly traded corporation that gets a lot of funding from the public sector, let's face it, they have no business blocking anybody, especially on the grounds of political beliefs. And if the left can sue people for not wanting to bake a cake, why can't we sue these companies for trying to shut down our political beliefs? All right, so if you want to know where all this is going, just go read 1984 by George Orwell. Well, actually, we're already past that. You see, George Orwell, when he wrote 1984, he based it off of experiences he had with the elite socialists in Europe, the party leaders, and specifically the Fabian socialists. Now, Fabian socialism is not like your normal, I'm a college kid, my professor brainwashed me type socialism. Fabian socialism is what the professors actually believe, what a lot of these really rich globalists want to see happen. And that is socialism for all the bottom feeders. They get their free healthcare, their free government phones, all that stuff. And the government rules over them with an iron fist, basically. They keep them addicted to handouts. Nobody has upward mobility, and they're ruled over by a very small elite technocracy. You know, the elite families who are very well educated at Ivy League schools, they will control everything. Everybody else is stuck on the bottom with the bottom feeders. And so that's what they want in the United States. That's what they want in Germany, this very authoritarian government that can cut people off. And if you want to see where it's going, look at China. China has always been the testing ground for Fabian socialists, for these globalists. They did this with the one-child policy. They did it with recently internet censorship, where they could go in and track dissidents. And Mark Zuckerberg was there helping them. You know, that's not by accident. Mark Zuckerberg now has the blood of innocence on his hand because China doesn't give people a slap on the wrist. They put them in jail or kill them. And so you have these big tech companies working with China to snuff out people who speak out against their authoritarian government. And that's what they're going to try to push here. China just implemented this new policy, and they're doing it as another social experiment where people will have a rating. You know, you'll have a social rating in real life, and it'll be based on your online content, on your criminal record and history. And so that will give you either capital or take away capital. And, you know, that is a system that they would love to have here. You know, they're already trying it by verifying people on Twitter and then taking people's verifications away if they speak out against something that happens to be the current social justice agenda. We see it with people like Richard Spencer or people like Baked Alaska, these guys who have had their check marks removed because they said something that wasn't popular with the Silicon Valley crowd. We saw it on YouTube with our own channels, with Dapperton's channel, with Alex Jones. They want to demonetize and take away your right to earn money off of your content, your product that they are using. And so we already have our own sort of social rating system here, but they just took it to the nth degree in China, and that's eventually what they will try in Europe and then eventually here too, because that's sort of the way things seem to work nowadays. We have to just hope that we can set precedences so that we can win lawsuits, and we really need our justice system to be pure because activist judges are already starting to hurt us, and they're really trying to take away our freedoms and rights. But if we can clean the house of those activist judges and use our justice system and our Constitution the way it was meant to be, we can protect our rights here in America. And hopefully the rest of the world will see us doing that, and it'll become popular, and they will jump on board. Anyway, guys, I'm out. Enjoy. Oh, yeah. Like and subscribe to my channel. It is InfoWars, Stop the Purge, and Patriot Punk on YouTube. Also, find me on Twitter or Facebook. Twitter's Patriot Punk. Facebook is Kevin Cormier. And watch the videos on the Liberty Network. I always forget to say this stuff. Anyway, I'm out. Bye.